Now it's time for more Chakotay's Odyssey, featuring the adventures of Janeway. Season 3, Episode 5 is called False Prophets. But it's profit as in to gain a profit, not like a false prophet of a religion.
Yeah.
So, false prophets.
Has it got Ferengis in it?
Yep.
I knew it.
So this episode starts. Voyager is heading for a planet nearby because that someone, I think it was Harry Kim, okay, science expert, he picked up traces of a wormhole opening in the Delta Quadrant.
Did the Negus come through?
No, but we'll get to some of that stuff, okay? Yeah, I didn't remember the Grand Negus stuff from TNG. I haven't seen TNG since the early 90s. So that's like 30 years ago.
I don't know. There were more in Deep Space Nine a lot. The Ferengis since Quark was there like every episode.
Well, I haven't seen that since like the late 90s. So.
I don't know. I like the Ferengis. They're hilarious.
Okay. Yeah. So there's some Ferengi in it and it's hilarious. So they have to go to this planet because there's a wormhole there, right? So they get there. There's no wormhole there. Oh, darn. But Tuvok, he's sciencing it up too. He's scanning the planet and it's like, hey, there's someone's using some technology on this planet, and these people are in like the Iron Age. Okay. Oh, by the way, these aliens on this planet, I don't know what they're called, but they're essentially humans. There's no makeup or prosthetic or anything on them.
They just were lazy on that one.
Yeah, they're just wearing like some crappy clothes. Let her be.
She's only staying for petting.
I don't think
cats are being very restless.
She doesn't like to sit still, especially Penny does.
To.
So what they do? So Tuvok picks up that there's someone has been using a replicator on this planet in this primitive society.
Right.
Of alien humans.
And we've known in this quadrant that no one has replicators because everybody wants their technology.
Yeah, because the Kazon keep trying to get theirs.
Yeah.
All right. So what they do is they send out a probe to gather information on the planet.
Yeah.
So there's this stuff going on the planet while the crew, I think it's Kim and the other science expert, B'Elanna, are trying to figure out this wormhole business. So it's a wormhole that this part of the wormhole moves all over the place.
Oh, well, that's their answer.
But it sometimes appears in around this like ring planet that they're at.
Oh.
Yeah. So while they're trying to science it up and figure out how they can get into this wormhole, because every time the wormhole appears, by the time they would get there, even at maximum warp, it would be gone and move somewhere else.
I totally agree with this mission. This makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. And they have proof now that someone from the Alpha Quadrant has come there. But they have possibilities. And as they go on, they get more and more proof, right?
Oh, exciting.
They send a probe to gather information on the planet and be like, okay, what kind of clothing and that they synthesize. So who do they send down? They don't send Janeway. Janeway doesn't go on this mission.
Well, that's always smart.
Yeah. So
they're doing things right this time around.
Yeah, it's time to send Chakotay. He's being put in. Okay, Coach is sending him in. So Chakotay goes with Tom Paris. So the two of them, because he's supposed to fly the ship. So he's not doing anything while they're in orbit around this planet of primitive society there. They go down. And they're wearing these crappy clothes. And they discover that they want to get into this temple. But in order to get this temple, they have to wear like a necklace with ears on it. And everyone has and then you notice everyone has these weird necklaces. So they have to and this guy's trying to swindle them and get all this stuff from them.
Sounds very Ferengi-ish to me.
Yeah, we haven't even met them yet. They have to trade with this guy in order to get some necklaces so they don't get arrested and stand out. You know what the guy wants?
What does he want?
He's sitting there, he's got fancy shoes.
Oh no.
Because everyone has these terrible sandals.
Right.
I guess. And they have not fancy, but way fancier than what everyone else has. They have these moccasin shoes.
Since back in the day, shoes were very valuable.
Yeah. Okay. So Paris has to give the guy his shoes so they can get these necklaces. And he's
Okay.
complaining. He's like, now my feet are cold. And he has to walk around with bare feet.
Rocks.
But before they can go into this temple, because that's where the readings are coming from, gong starts ringing.
Yes.
And there's this big presence. So all these women come out of the temple. And they're
clothes on?
scantily clad. They look as if they're Las Vegas dancers. That's what they.
Well, they're not
as if
supposed to have
they-
any clothes on, right?
Yeah.
The Ferengis.
So they come out, and then these two Ferengi come out. These two short little Ferengi guys. And you will know these because I remember this episode. This connects to a TNG episode.
Oh yeah.
There's an episode where all these interested parties are trying to buy rights to this wormhole that they say is stable.
Okay.
But the part in the Alpha Quadrant is, but the part in the Delta Quadrant is not.
Right.
It keeps moving
That's
around.
what we're seeing here.
And what happens in that episode is these two Ferengi get stranded in the Delta Quadrant.
Oh.
So they bring these guys back.
Well, that's smart. 'Cause
And they
nobody
even
really
mention this
talk
is from
about the Delta.
7 years ago.
Right.
Okay? So, TNG episode is called The Price.
It would be in their logs, probably.
And I remember this episode, even though last time I saw it would have been early 90s, maybe the late 80s, whenever it came out. These guys are there. So that's smart on the writer's part. They bring these two actors back.
Yeah, this
and
episode
they
seems
have-
to make sense.
And they have exploited this population. And they're
Right.
teaching them all about the Ferengi, the
Commerce.
rules of acquisition.
Yeah, the rules of acquisition. Yeah.
And they're just swindling them. And so
Well,
these
what do
people
they
come up
have?
and they beg for stuff. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, I got all these problems and my farm is going out of business.
Right.
And so what do? They're like, well, it's who's on this farm? You, your wife, your kids, these family members? And they're sitting there. You're supposed to exploit them and make them work. Okay?
Yeah.
No wonder you're failing. You got so many employees. You should make them all work.
Teaching them the Ferengi way.
Yeah, the rules of acquisition and exploitation is supposed to start apparently in the home.
That makes sense. I mean, the
According to the
Ferengis
Ferengi.
themselves are very content and happy. I
Yep.
mean, to each his own, right? Although I don't know if the women are.
Well, they're exploiting all of these people, and so they're taking all their gold and they just spend all their time in the vault in the temple. They turn the temple into a vault with all their stuff, and that's what they use. So once Janeway learns of this, she beams them out from within the temple, and so they get beamed up there as they're just hanging out, being a dick to this one guy that they make work for them. And so they get beamed to the transporter room, and Janeway's there with Tuvok and a security officer. And she's like, yeah, you're coming with us. Because you're not allowed to do this.
According to Federation,
Yeah.
Ferengis have their own rules.
They have this whole meeting where Tuvok is going on. It's like, prime directive, right? And once again, she's
Ferengis
just...
are not in Starfleet.
Yeah, because they're not in Starfleet. They're not part of the
Oh.
Federation. And
Couple
Janeway is
more.
sitting there, well, I don't want to leave these guys to do this. So then someone else argues it might have been Neelix, right?
Right.
Well,
Are
Neil-
they being successful? Is that civilization progressing? They've already interfered with them.
Not really, they're kind of just stealing stuff from them.
Oh.
In fact, the one guy that begs for something to help him with his farm, instead of helping him, they give him a copy. They replicate a copy of the rules of acquisition and
Right.
give it to him. Here you go, learn this. Because they're
Right.
dicks, right?
Well, listen, that would be what you would do. It would be like if a bunch of missionaries land out there, they're going to replicate the Bible for them. Give them that.
Janeway beams them up to Voyager and tells them they're coming with them. So what do? They just start talking trash and trying to talk their way out of it.
Right.
And they do!
Right.
And then she beams them back to the surface. I'm sitting there, what is this?
See, they've already interfered. How much damage can they
Well,
really
the
do?
Ferengi
Between
make
two
a
of them?
case that if they leave because they're able to take over because of this ancient song prophecy that two people from the stars will come and show them the way.
Oh.
So the Ferengi make the case that if they were suddenly to leave because Voyager takes them away, that would throw their civilization into chaos. And Janeway falls for this crap.
Well, I think it would. That's what I mean. Like they've already started their missionary work.
So they beam them back. They beam them back to the surface, which is really dumb.
Like the interference has already occurred.
And what are the names of these Ferengi? Cole and Kafar, I think.
Okay.
I think that's the name of the Ferengi. They beam them back, and so the Ferengi are just celebrating in their vault again. Hey, we won. We outsmarted these Federation idiots, and what are they doing here? Janeway's like, that's none of your business. But, so they're celebrating. So what do? They send Neelix down.
Okay.
I mean, Paris and Chakotay are still there, but they send Neelix back, and Neelix is dressed up as a Ferengi. And he comes in with the staff, with the little gold head.
He pretends to be the Negus.
No, they think it's the Grand Negus, and he says, no, I'm the Grand Negus's proxy.
Oh.
Okay? On behalf of the Grand Negus.
Because these guys don't know really why Voyager's there.
And he's scamming them.
Right.
Okay? Meanwhile, Harry, Kim, and B'Elanna are still working on figuring out, and they figure out a way that they can get to this wormhole.
Oh, that's
okay?
Good.
If they release a bunch of particles and everything, it will hold it fixed in a certain place. It will make it appear in a certain place and hold it fixed so that they can get through and get to the Alpha Quadrant, wherever the hell it is in the Alpha Quadrant. Great, so they got a way home.
Yay.
So why are they bothering with these Ferengi?
Are they going to send them home too?
Yeah, that's the whole plan, because Janeway's on this mission that they have to deal with these Ferengi. And I'm sitting there, what are you doing?
They're kings.
Yeah, they're exploiting these people, so just beam them into the brig and go. That's all you gotta do. Don't argue with these idiots, because they're just gonna argue all day long.
Yeah, I mean.
So they send Neelix down, and Neelix is scamming them.
Yeah.
Saying like the Grand Egg is gonna take over this and that they've been recalled to wherever, Ferengi Prime.
That would happen.
I don't know. What's the name of the Ferengi planet?
I don't recall.
I have no idea. But they don't like this, and they resist it.
Oh.
They get into a whole thing in the town square, the only square.
Well, they're used to being kings, I guess, now for 7 years.
Because there's this song that they're these godly beings who are going to lead them.
Right.
There's more to the song in that they're supposed to leave. They're supposed to leave like on like a window on a big fire or something.
Right.
That's not the actual wording, and that 3 new stars will appear in the sky.
Okay.
So they get Neelix, who's still dressed up as a Ferengi, after they find him out and kick him out, because they go to kill him. They go to kill him, and he's just like, "Oh no, I'm out of here!" And he comes clean, and they chase him outside. So Paris, Chakotay, and Ferengi Neelix, they come up with this plan so that the people won't believe in them anymore, and that it's time for them to leave, because now there's a third Ferengi, sort of. It's Neelix. And so people are like, is this the end of the song, of the prophecy? And what Voyager does is it shoots like some photon bursts into the sky, and it makes 3 bright lights appear.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
So now they have to go.
So then the people are like, okay, they're going to leave, but they're supposed to leave on fire. So the guy that they've been bossing around on the planet starts banging the gong, and they're like, okay, we're going to burn them. So they're going to burn both them plus Neelix.
That's what happens.
So they tie him up. So they tie him up in front of the temple, and they can't beam him out because they replicated this, some kind of signal. Okay, so they can't beam out while they're in that area while this machine is active.
Yes.
And the people start building a funeral pyre around them.
Oh yeah.
They start piling up the wood around them.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're gonna get burned alive. So Chakotay and Paris go into the temple and bust up the thing. They're trying to deactivate. I'm like, just smash it. But Chakotay's like, nope, phaser destroys it. Okay.
Right.
So as the fire's starting, the 3 of them beam up.
Yeah, yeah.
And also Paris and Chakotay beam up. Okay, problem solved, right?
The prophecy.
Everyone's happy that they're gone because I hate them. They're dicks, right?
Able to convince them of their rules of acquisition, I guess.
But they're just taking all their money and
right. They could have done it a little bit more suave, but of course the Ferengis are not suave.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Voyager, you don't see it, but they've acquired their shuttle that they came here on, and they put it in the shuttle bay.
Okay.
So they beam them on. It's like, and you're going to and they decide, okay, take them to secure quarters and guard them.
Okay.
And then by the time Janeway gets to the bridge, they've already broken out. Okay? And there's a guy, one of the security guards is in sickbay. That's where we see Cass.
Ferengies are not known for their battle moves.
So Cass comes in for one line and is like, hey, this guy got busted up. You might want to check into it. So but by that time, Ferengi are already in the shuttle bay and they've gone out in their shuttle.
Oh.
They busted out of Voyager in their old shuttle. And so then it becomes this weird space battle. They're like, get back here, use a tractor beam, do something, right? And the Ferengi are sending out like weird particle beams to disrupt their tractor beams and that.
These are really smart Ferengis.
Gravity wells. But it also disrupts the wormhole.
Oh.
And what happens is they send out these beams, but it pulls the wormhole towards them.
Yes.
And they get pulled towards it. And they get sucked into the wormhole, shooting out these weird gravity beams. And what happens is the wormhole disappears, and now both ends of the wormhole are unattached. They don't have fixed points. So we don't even know what happened to these guys. Did they end up back in the Alpha Quadrant or somewhere else? But the point is, because Janeway had to deal with it, now the wormhole's gone.
Oh, no.
They're stuck.
They screwed it.
They totally screwed the pooch on this.
They did.
So the end of the episode is set a course for the Alpha Quadrant. And everyone is just there, like, saying nothing. I'm sitting there. Your crew would mutiny after that if you screwed that up.
And like the things that they do, this sounds like they're actually starting out okay and doing things right until they start messing with these Ferengis too much. I don't know. They just it could have been more of a comedy to show this is like like the Orville. We need better people.
Yeah, there wasn't that much comedy. I mean, I found it
made
funny.
more sense.
But it
I
had a
don't
clever
know.
title, and it was clever that they linked it back to TNG.
Yeah.
And it was an episode. So this
Probably the only mention of the Delta Quadrant.
this aired October 2nd, 1996. So this goes back to an episode from 1989 in TNG, because they say 7 years.
Right.
Wow. Good on the writers for this one.
Well, people that are writing it have to know.
If you're a fan of TNG, I would say this is a good episode to watch.
They sounded fun.
However, we're still looking for the really good Voyager episodes. So if you have any suggestions, let us know down in the comments below, because we're not finding too many. We found a few good Voyager episodes, but
Couple.
not that many so far.
No, we need 7 of 9.
Yeah, and we're still waiting
And
on that.
I think that Jennifer Lean had something in her contract with her manager that she has to be in every episode.
Well, all the stars are supposed to be in the majority of episodes. They have to be in a certain number according to their contracts.
She doesn't even have a job.
I don't think the Doctor was in this one, but he was in the last one a lot. Anyway, it was pretty fun. Feel free to give us a like. Maybe one of the cats will come back. And that was another exciting episode of Chakotay's Odyssey, featuring the adventures of Janeway.